So colleges that meet full need, and what we're going to talk about today is understanding need-based aid for international applicants to American universities and colleges. So what we're going to focus on is understanding how you, the applicant, can best go about understanding the financial aid process. Whether that be merit scholarships or need-based aid, we want to ensure that you have the knowledge you need to apply to American universities that are financially feasible for you and your families. So as competitive college students in Russia, you are in a great position to receive financial aid from universities. Many of you have high test scores, great GPAs, so merit scholarships are something that you can consider. Many of you are also coming from backgrounds where your families may not have the resources to pay for American colleges and universities. And today, that's really going to be our focus. Universities and colleges that can offer you significant grant aid in order to attend their institution. I will be leading this session. You all know me and have worked with me on different projects, and so I'm an admission counselor for Bates College, which does meet full need, but we're not going to focus on Bates today. We're going to focus on colleges and universities across the country that can offer you an incredible education and also provide that financial assistance to make that education possible. You all know that I've been interning with you through Education USA and helping you understand the college application process. So let's talk about what we're actually going to do today. The goal of our lesson is for you to make informed choices about the financial aid and application process, so that before you even sit down to create the applications, you have an understanding of what is necessary in terms of applying for financial assistance. So we want to understand what need-aware and need-blind policies are. We want to target schools that are financially feasible for you and your families, and we want to make a realistic strategy for the application process. And each of you will have a unique strategy that we will make going through this lesson, because this is a very individualized process, the college application process. And so you're each going to have different goals, different needs, and this lesson is going to help you to determine how you can best meet those. So before we begin, we're going to take 5 minutes, and you're each going to use your web browsers to look at your top choice for college. You've all kind of done some exploration as to what kind of schools interest you, and so now I want you to see how much they cost. So you're going to go to the website, and I want you to use the official website, not US News or Barron's or any other third party. I want you to go to their website, go to their cost page, and see how much is 1 year of college at this institution going to cost. After having done that, you might be surprised. You might see tuition upwards of $60,000, not for 4 years, but for 1 year. And so I hope this activity has taught you that college in America is not cheap. It definitely has what we call a high sticker price. And so throughout this whole presentation, what we're going to think about is that sticker price, the price that universities advertise, and then the true cost of attendance, what it's going to cost you minus financial aid to attend that institution. And you'll be surprised that at some institutions where the advertised cost might be $67,000, it's actually much more affordable than other schools that might seem cheaper but not offer the same level of financial aid to its applicants. So what is financial aid? So you are all familiar with scholarships, and these are based on your GPA and your test scores. And so when you're looking at schools, if you're above the 25th to 75th percentile, you'll often get offered money to attend. So if you have high GPA and high test scores, you can target institutions with lower averages than your own, and they may be willing to offer you merit scholarships just based on that criteria. Now, as opposed to this, financial aid is based on your family and student income, and we usually call this type of aid grants. So for this type of aid, it doesn't matter really how well you've done in school. It's all based on your family and individual income. Now, scholarships are awarded based on your merit and how you've done, but you might be looking at financial aid and wondering, why would I apply for financial aid when I have done really well? Why wouldn't I be applying for merit scholarships? This is because many schools who offer significant financial aid have very low acceptance rates. And so just by being admitted into the institution, you're already in a pool of enormously competitive applicants. So the financial aid they offer might be as much or more than the merit scholarships you're being awarded by less selective institutions. Now, institutions who offer this aid can be need aware or need blind. Need aware means that they are looking at your income, they're looking at your family's assets in order to determine how much you can pay for college. And if you are very needy, if you have low estimated family contribution, you might not be accepted. Every college has a budget, and they have to stick within that budget. And so, an institution who wants to provide financial aid but has limited resources will be selective in who it chooses to admit to receive financial aid. A need blind institution is making the decision of admissions without regard to financial aid. So whether your family makes $1,000 or $100,000 a year, it is not using that to determine your admission standards. These are typically extremely wealthy schools who have large endowments that can fund this sort of practice. So let's take a look at an example from Cornell. So here we have Aran Watana. Aran is from Thailand. Her family's income is $33,000 a year with assets and savings of $104,000. Now this results in a parental contribution of $14,000, mostly probably coming from her parental assets. $33,000 a year is not much, so this is likely coming from her assets. Now, the total cost of attendance for Cornell is $71,303. That's incredibly expensive. As an international student, Erin not expected to contribute anything. Her parents are expected to contribute $14,000. This is based on a formula that looks at assets and income. So this is what the institution thinks that Erin is going to need. Now, Cornell gave Erin a part-time job for $2,500, typically called a work-study, so she can earn this money in order to help pay for her personal expenses. So at $71,000, it's not just tuition, it's room and board, it's books, it's personal expenses, and this is typically what your employment eligibility will be used for. Cornell does not offer student loans for international students, so that's wonderful. And they gave her a grant of $54,803. So you can see, minus the cost of attendance from her family need, it comes down to $57,303 for all costs. Cornell offered her $57,303. Now again, it's important to kind of decipher what billed expenses are. For example, tuition, room and board, health insurance. These are all things that the institution will bill you for. Other things like books, personal expenses, travel are things that you'll figure out on your own, but that they include in the cost of attendance so that you have the financial aid to cover those incidentals. So again, we can kind of just see the breakdown of this, again, from the Cornell website, and what it all means. And so tuition is about $50,000. We have $8,000 for housings, $5,000 for dining, $900 for books, $2,600 for insurance, and almost $3,000 for personal expenses and travel. So that's where the $71,303 comes from. Now, again, she's not expected to contribute anything to her own education, but her parents are expected to contribute $14,000. And she's also eligible again for that $2,500 that she'll get through working a few hours a week. Again, because her parents make under $60,000, Cornell doesn't expect them to take out loans, both for domestic and international students. And so the resulting aid package is $54,000, which is extremely generous. And so we're seeing that an education that looks like it costs $71,000 for Erin actually really only costs $14,000. Even that employment eligibility is not something that she's going to have to pay. That's something that she's earning. So her parents paying $14,000 for an education that is listed at $71,303. So we can see from this example that the cost of attendance is not always what the students will be paying. And so when we're thinking about top-tier colleges and top-tier universities, what we're looking for are the universities that are going to offer significant financial aid through either merit or need-based scholarships. And so Cornell, being a private institution with a large endowment, is able to offer this financial aid. Just because a university is public, just because a university is not an Ivy League, does not mean that it doesn't have the resources to help you pay for college. Especially with merit-based scholarships, this is when less selective schools can really offer you a tremendous aid package as well. And so every school is going to be different in what they require from their applicants. For example, Tufts requires you to fill out the CSS profile and also have a certificate of international student finances. And so when you're thinking about your application to the university, also take a look at the financial aid requirements, because this is extremely important for you to understand before you actually go into the process. And now I just want to kind of show you a few of the colleges that meet full need. Some of them are need blind, some of them are need aware, and their acceptance rates. So just to kind of give you a general overview of the competition. Amherst College is a wonderful liberal arts college in Massachusetts, need blind, so it doesn't care how much your family makes, but it only accepts 14% of its applicants. Barnard, an all-female college in New York, is need aware, but it does promise to meet 100% of financial need, 23% acceptance rate. And so this is an all-female college affiliated with Columbia. And so if you are a girl and you are looking for an urban institution with financial aid, Barnard is in the center of New York, affiliated with Columbia, and offers incredible financial aid. Bates College, which is where I work, full disclosure, 19% acceptance rate, it is need aware, and so if you're looking to go to Maine, there's a great choice. Bowdoin, also in Maine, is need aware and has a 14% acceptance rate. Brown, one of the Ivy Leagues in Rhode Island, is need aware with an 8% acceptance rate. Again, this is a much larger university than the other ones we've spoken about. Caltech, great if you're looking at engineering, located in California, need aware with an 8% acceptance rate. Colgate, New York, need aware. Again, we can see a higher acceptance rate, 26%. So it's not that every college that offers significant financial aid is impossible to get into. Colgate accepts about 1 out of 4 applicants. Columbia, an Ivy League in New York, 6.1 acceptance rate, need aware. Dartmouth, another Ivy League in New Hampshire, 10% acceptance rate. Harvard in Massachusetts is need blind with a very large endowment with a 5.9% acceptance rate. Haverford, again, another school with a higher acceptance rate of 23.5%. In Pennsylvania, it is need aware, but again, looking at that acceptance rate, you can see how if Haverford is a school that interests you, it might be a little bit easier to get into. MIT, 7.9 acceptance rate, located in Cambridge. Middlebury in Vermont, another liberal arts college, 17.2 acceptance rate, need aware, so again, we're looking at a higher acceptance rate. Pomona, a liberal arts college in California, 12.1% acceptance rate. Princeton, 7.7% acceptance rate, need blind, in New Jersey. Smith, another all-women's college in Massachusetts, is need aware, but accepts around 40% of applicants. So it's almost half. So again, just because you're looking for significant financial aid doesn't mean you won't be able to get into any of these colleges. University of Richmond, another great example of a higher acceptance rate with incredible financial aid. Chicago, 7.8 acceptance rate. So again, we're looking at a little bit more competition here. And so here's just a full list of the schools. We went over a few of them who offer 100% of financial need for international students. And you can see next to their name, I have put whether they're need aware or need blind. And for the majority of applicants, I wouldn't say that's a huge thing to consider. If you're a really good applicant, being need aware does not mean you're not going to get in. But if you can target these need blind schools, and you're heavily in need of financial aid, it could be advantageous for you. So wrapping up, as you guys can tell from this presentation, it's an extremely important part of the application process to understand financial aid. And so we want to make sure that you look at the institutions, what kind of aid they're offering, and what's a realistic option for you and your families. And so this week we're going to do two different things. The first thing I want you to do is to choose 3 colleges that you're interested in and use their online financial aid and scholarship calculators. So for example, here's a link to Harvard's. So I want you to write a short paragraph after doing these calculations and determine which is the most financially feasible for your family. Now these are all estimates, none of it's set in stone, but it's going to really help you guys understand which one might be the best choice for your family. Second, I want you to make a list of 3 colleges and universities that interest you and outline their financial aid policies. So go to their website. Do they offer merit-based aid? Do they offer need-based aid? Do they offer both? Some schools will combine them. Do they meet full need? Do they meet full demonstrated need? And if so, are they need aware and need blind? And I want you to post your research on our discussion board so that other students can benefit from your research. And then reply to at least 2 other students with the schools that they have selected, and kind of just explain to them whether or not you think what you think about their financial aid policies and what you think that means for the institution and for the student applying. So that's it for this week, and I hope that you guys have learned about the financial aid process. And again, we'll continue this conversation this week and moving forward as we look at different universities.